Hello, malfunctioning friends. I'm a little late to this news, but over the weekend, the PlayStation Network went down for like 20 hours or something like that. But it's so much worse than it sounds because the amount of things that require the PlayStation Network to function is actually somewhat embarrassing and concerning. It's the thing I've been ranting about on this channel for a while with pushing towards all digital. Like, yes, it has a lot of benefits. Yes, I think it's where the industry is leading, and in some ways it makes sense. But in other ways, if we lose the internet, we lose our games. We lose the capability of playing certain things, and that's very scary for video game preservation, but also just for the future of video games and getting to access content and things that we've paid a lot of money for. So let's take a look at what happened over the weekend when PlayStation Network went down for an entire day and people were losing their minds. Let's react. So to start with here, we have an NBC article. PlayStation Network recovers from massive outages that frustrates gamers worldwide. PlayStation posted on X just before 9 p.m. Friday night. So also worst timing. Worst timing ever for this to go down. A Friday night when people are getting home from a long week of work. They just want to sit down on the couch and play some games with their friends, and they can't access anything on PlayStation. They can't log in and relax before the big game on Sunday. Honestly, just the worst time to do it. Not that they did it on purpose. I don't know if we even know why it happened yet. Sony's PlayStation Network is up and running Sunday, so out Friday night and all of Saturday, essentially, after a massive outage frustrates many users unable to play games or access its online store. According to Sony's PlayStation Network status page, PlayStation Direct, the PlayStation Store, gaming and social, PlayStation Video, account management, and other services were all experiencing issues. Users vented their frustration and cracked a few jokes on social media. This was a tweet: PlayStation Network down, time to get to know my wife of 5 years. Okay, that's horrible. PlayStation, I hope you're going to give us free game. After all of this, when they brought the servers back online, they offered PlayStation Network users 5 days of free PlayStation Network. And for everybody else, they offered nothing. They offered nothing. So people that have a PlayStation, that play Marvel Rivals right now, which is a lot of people, or other people in general using a PlayStation, get nothing for having this ripped away from them for the weekend. That kind of sucks. It would be cool even to give those people 5 days of free PlayStation Network, because when you think about it, that help doesn't that give that person incentive if they like the free 5 days? Maybe they get to play those PlayStation Now streaming games or whatever, or download some free games for 5 days, or just play online for 5 days. Maybe it might encourage them to then, buy. PlayStation is just so stingy. They've always been so stingy. This mic stand will not stay on recently. Every time I touch it, it falls off. My room is falling apart like PlayStation Network. Also, please ignore all of the Valentine's Day stuff on the couch. Coming home after an 8 to 12 hour shift to find the PlayStation Network is down. Okay, all right. Okay, come on. It's not that bad. My wife wondering why I want to watch TV with her on Friday. Oh, man, you guys need to hang out with your wives more. I hang out with Kim all the time. We watched the Super Bowl together last night. It was awesome. We got wings. Eagles won. Go Birds. I mean, I live in Philly. I live near Philly. I'm honestly not too into football, but we always watch the Super Bowl, and it's actually a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie. Oh, this was weird, too. Krispy Kreme. That doesn't even make sense that Krispy Kreme offers more to people than PlayStation. Calling all gamers, this PlayStation still works. Grab a free original glazed donut today from 5 to 7. Yeah, Krispy Kreme were offering free donuts for a 2-hour window to, I think technically everyone, but on the back of this PlayStation thing, they were like, hey, you can't play games, come get a donut. How is it that even Krispy Kreme is offering more than PlayStation is offering for their absolute blunder? That's not what this video was supposed to be about, but I honestly can't believe sometimes how stingy PlayStation are. Network services have fully recovered from an operational issue, the statement said. We apologize for the inconvenience and thank the community for their patience. Now, here's a couple of things that made this whole thing ridiculous. Now, stay there. Hey, you remember the PlayStation Portal that costs, how much does it cost? It was like $200 or something like that. Remember the PlayStation Portal? Yeah, it was literally bricked while the internet went down. It streams from the console, but it needs to sign into an account to activate and actually register and to be able to work. And because the network was down, it couldn't ping an account, and the PlayStation Portal just straight up wouldn't work. So even if you were playing offline on your PlayStation 5, a offline single-player game, and you just wanted to stream that game to your portal through Friday to Saturday, it wouldn't work. Here's some first-hand accounts of that. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't do anything. It just doesn't connect. We have a bunch of people making TikToks about the outage. Dude, on a Friday night too, it was probably such a big weekend for a lot of people. I invited my friend Fried Biscuits to come around and land some games. He ended up bailing on me, but that beside the point. The idea was to have a big LAN night on Saturday and have fun playing games, and then you roll into Sunday and you're all watching the Super Bowl and eating wings. A lot of people like take this weekend to just relax, play games, and watch the football. Just the worst time to be down. I also can't imagine how much it cost Sony and PlayStation and possible microtransactions and sales, because the store was down, so people couldn't buy any new video games or interact with their services at all for 24 hours. And the worst part of all of this is they never said why. It just said an operational issue. They never actually said why. It's also a little terrifying because if anyone remembers, in like 2011, I'm pretty sure was the year, the PlayStation Network went down for days, like multiple days. And I'm pretty sure that was because of a massive DDoS attack. External intrusion. Yeah, I mean, they got hacked, and a lot of information. The breach resulted in exposure of vulnerability of personal ID, including usernames, physical addresses, email addresses, date of birth, passwords, financial details such as credit card and debit card information. So yeah, it went down for 23 days. I had a PlayStation Network at the time. I remember where I was when I heard about this hack, funny enough. I was in my friend's house. We were all in my friend's house, and we were all talking about this hack and how everyone was getting their data. And like, we didn't care because at the time we would have been, what, 2011? I would have been 21, I think. Yeah, I didn't care. Take my information. What am I going to do? I have $10 to my name. What are you going to do with my credit card information? I don't even know if I had my credit card info in my... I don't even know what I had in my PlayStation at the time, but I didn't. We were laughing about it because we were young, and what did we have to lose? You know what I mean? But I do remember at the time a lot of people were very scared, and obviously a lot of people had this information leaked. And I don't remember exactly how long it was into this 23-day leak that we found out that it was a hack and that information was being stolen. But to be here all these years later and have the PlayStation Network go down and not be told why, and not be able to get into the account to delete any credit cards or delete any information, and just hearing nothing from PlayStation. And then after all of it, just being told that it was a, what was the terminology that they used? Operational issue? I'm sorry, it went down for a whole day for just a general operational issue? That's all you got? Something happened. These things don't just happen on their own. When something's up and running, it just works normally. What happened? That's the most painful part about it. What happened? I want to know so badly. I mean, I'm assuming all the information is safe, but if I was PlayStation, I wouldn't blame them for not wanting to say it was a security breach, for not wanting to say anything was at risk. That can't be real. GameStop, bet y'all want physical copies now? Wait, is this real? Oh, this is from a while ago though. It's okay. It's real, but it's actually from it's actually from when the Xbox 360 store shut down. GameStop tweeted, "Bet y'all want physical copies now." That's a banger tweet, GameStop. It would be so insulting to do it right now. I think PlayStation would legitimately get mad at GameStop and maybe stop working. Like, in certain ways, they might even stop working with them. Like, anything exclusive deals or anything would be off the table if they did that during an outage. No, this is about the 360 store shutdown, which, yeah, to be fair. And bouncing back to what I said at the start of the video, this is why a digital future is scary. Yeah, I don't want to reactivate a conversation that I've brought up a lot. I have videos on this channel that I can link down below, or I can maybe put here and here on the screen that will directly relate to this conversation. But essentially, my stance of an all-digital gaming future, which is where I believe we're heading, just like music, TV shows, movies, it all went to streaming culture. And we have things like Game Pass now and digital storefronts. The physical media we have now is outdated. Games don't fit on the discs anymore. They release partially on the disc, and then you have to do these massive updates to put the rest on. Or the gaming culture around huge patches and updates that come later. Games like Cyberpunk, for an extreme case, being a game that's not the game on the disc is not the game it ended up becoming 2 years later after all the patch fixes and changes that they did. So the physical media is already outdated. We're only holding on to it because from a collector standpoint and a mentality standpoint, a lot of people want to think they're owning something, even though in reality, a lot of cases, they're not. There are cases like Hogwarts Legacy and Call of Duty where the games on the disc, it's literally a 1 megabyte file. The game is not on those discs. The discs are almost blank, and it's just a key, essentially, to unlock the download from the store once you put it into the console. Now, those are fringe cases, but almost every single disc does not have a complete game on it these days, unless it's something like an indie game or something like that. And even then, patch fixes, bug fixes, those all come later, and they're all digital. I would struggle to find a game these days that the game on the disc is the same version as the actual game you'd play if it got updated. Now, from those disc extreme cases to minimal cases aside, you also have technology like the PlayStation Portal. You also have a lot of things that we've discovered over the last day that rely on digital and online, and this outage right here on PlayStation 5 is just a small taste of what's going to happen in 15, 20 years. Ironically, this video is very serendipitous. Ironically, when this happens, the thing that I already have on the screen, this was not intentional, Xbox 360 store is officially shut down, end of an era, July 29, 2024. This will happen in 15 years for the PlayStation 5, maybe sooner, maybe later. And when that happens, unless they continue support for this and move it over to a new console, or they find a way to make a lot of these online digital experiences not online and digital experiences, like somehow a lot of things are gonna get lost once this server closed down. And years in the future, discs like Hogwarts Legacy and Call of Duty, are you going to be able to put those discs into a PlayStation 8 or a PlayStation 9 and trigger that same download? At what point are some of these discs going to end up being junk? Are some of them going to end up being useless? At what point is the game on the disc, even if you manage to get it to play in a PlayStation 5 offline 15, 20 years from now, is that game a buggy mess without all the patches that you needed to download, or without the extra content, or without the extra levels? Like, this weekend was a taste of what gaming in the future is going to look like once things start shutting down, and it's scary. But aside from that point, PlayStation, absolute blunder of a weekend during one of the biggest weekends for gaming, I think, just around the Super Bowl when people taking the time off, but also just the worst time of the week, Friday night into the whole of Saturday, and then to not tell us why and to leave us guessing after the last time this happened was a security concern where credit cards got lost, and the only thing you offer is 5 days free membership to paying customers, not even all of the users, while Krispy Kreme is doing more to offer people compensation. I don't understand companies sometimes. I guess it doesn't matter for them, because what are you going to do about it? What are you going to go buy a Nintendo? You're going to go dust off an Xbox? I wanted to talk about this sooner, but ironically, along with PlayStation, I usually go offline for a weekend work-wise. But I wanted to talk about this because I thought it was so insane, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave your comments down below. Like, comment, hair flip on that subscribe button. Let's try and get the 30K subs, shall we? Shall we? All right, bye.